Mike Fred's Garage. Thanks for coming. You know, I'm getting older, and anything I can do to make my life easier, I'm gonna do. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to do was organize the back of this pickup bed. I just hate putting things in there and having them move all over the place and not be secure. So I decided to make a tray, a roll-up tray, and I wanted to make it as simple as possible. Costs you around $100, and it keeps everything nice and secure. The main reason why I wanted to make it was because of these. I don't know if you guys have a lot of pool cleaning people around where you live, but here in Florida we have a ton of them. When you look at their trucks are 2-3 years old, and this chlorine spilling in there eats the back of their trucks like crazy. So my biggest concern was putting these in here, bungeeing them down, going and do some other errands, driving around, and always worrying about taking a sharp right, and these things spilling all over the place. Okay, so now they got a nice, dedicated, secure area. Put my groceries in there, bags and boxes or whatever. I made dividers so you can set it up any way you want to make it, nice and easy. And like I said, it cost about $100. And it's so easy that anybody can make it, even if you've never done any of this kind of stuff before. Okay, so stick around. We'll go back to the garage. I'll show you how easy it is to build, and it costs you around $100. Okay, so we'll be right back. Alrighty. Alright, so first things first, let's take all this stuff out of here. Doesn't get any easier than this, okay? Let's start at the bottom and work our way to the top, okay? Alright, so let's get to it. But before we start, there's something I want to tell you. One, I'm not a carpenter, okay? So there's not going to be any dovetails. There's not going to be any biscuits. There ain't going to be any of that stuff. We're just making this easy, quick, and for somebody who's never really done any woodworking to do. I'm only a person with a countersink. That's all I am. So all this stuff, the countersink, the wheels, whatever you need is going to be in the description page below. Everything except for the wood. And the wood I got from my Big Blue box store. Okay? I bought a piece of plywood. This happens to be 3/4 inch plywood. Okay? The whole directions, the buying list, the schematic, it will all be at the end of this video. So if you don't want to listen to me ramble, just fast forward, make a couple of pictures of that, and you'll be all set. So this is 3/4 inch plywood. I had the Big Blue box store cut it. They cut it for free for you, okay? So the important number is 42. It's 42 inches from here to here. 42 inches, and that fits about an inch perfectly in between the wheel wells of this Ford Maverick. Now, this plan can work for any truck. Tacomas, Rangers, F-150s, whatever you have, okay? You just have to change the size of the plywood, add more wheels to make it the way you want it, but everything else is pretty much the same. I had the Big Blue box store cut it because even I don't have a table saw, and with my hand saw, I would never get it this perfect, so let them cut it. Here's the second number you need to know. 48 inches from front to back. For this Ford Maverick, 48 inches fits perfect. Leaves you a couple inches in the front so you don't have to worry about your tailgate. It's just a perfect fit. If you're worried about hitting the back of your cab, then you could put a couple of cushions back in the back, like these ones right here, the kind you use to hold the doorknob. Okay? Wheels. They're called roller ball transfer wheels, okay? I use 6 for this Maverick. You can use 8. You can use as many as you want. Depends on how much weight you're putting on. I'm not really going to put that much weight. I just want to be able to have it move nice and easy, okay? So I use 6. Now remember, when you buy these wheels, okay, they don't come with the screws. So you're going to need 1/2-inch button head screws. 1/2-inch button head screws, okay? You're going to need those too. Now this is how I put them. The first wheel in the middle is about 7.5 inches, okay? 7.5. The reason being is I know that most of my weight is going to be right here, and I want the wheel to support it. And I want to be able to pull it out without the wheel coming off the tailgate. This wheel, the middle wheel, is the important wheel. 25 inches for this Ford Maverick. The reason it's an important wheel is this middle wheel is going to sit in between the tailgate and the bed. It's going to just fit in there, okay? So when you pull it out, this wheel won't come off the tailgate. This wheel will pop into the crease in between the tailgate, and it prevents you from going too far out where it might tip on you, okay? You always got to be careful of that. You don't want to pull this out past the tailgate because it could tip on you, okay? So, pretty easy so far. Didn't have to really do anything. Screw in a couple of these at those dimensions. Countersink, okay? This is the most important to me. I've always found it the most important. When I drill any hole, okay, I always want to pre-drill it, 1/8 inch bit, and I want to countersink it into the wood. I don't want to split any wood. I don't want to crack any wood. I just want to make it as easy as possible, okay? That's all you got to do. Now to secure it, I just use drywall screws. Everybody has drywall screws. So, because this is 3/4 inch plywood, I wanted to use an 1.5 inch drywall screw. Okay? So now let's flip it open, and I'll show you the top part. All right. Look at how nice that fits in there. Look at how nice that slides out. I know what you're saying. Fred, why don't you just roll up your tonneau cover and grab whatever you gotta grab? It's a Maverick, it's short. Because I'm lazy. I don't want to do that every time I need to get something. And I don't want everything moving around here, okay? So that's why. Wood. Like I said, everything's gonna be at the end of this video, description, list of what you need, everything. In the front, I used pine, 1 inch by 4 inches for these two. If you're gonna carry something much higher, you can use 6 inch here. On the sides and the back, I used 1 by 6 inch select pine, okay? They're about 13 bucks each. These were about 11 bucks each, okay? Now, because this is 48 inches, which is 4 feet, the side pines come in 4 feet, so it's nice and easy. I did have to cut, okay? Because the way I did mine, all right, I wanted this in the front. I did have to cut that back one to fit in between, and I had to cut these shelves. I have a circular saw. If you don't have a circular saw, the easiest thing for you to use, costs you 15 bucks, is one of these, okay? It's a box compound miter saw. When you click on it, there's a video on there show you how to use it. It's nice and easy. It'll cut nice straight lines. And if you're just gonna need one saw to cut wood occasionally, for 16 bucks, you can't go wrong with this thing. I might put carpet in the bottom here. That's something I'm probably gonna do. You just spray some spray glue, put the carpet on, okay? Now let me show you the most ingenious thing. You might not think there's anything in this noggin, but there's some stuff in there. Most people, when they make dividers, they're gonna use a piece of 1 by 1. Put one piece here, one piece here, glue it on. It takes up all this space. I don't like it. It's not for me. If that's what you want to do, go for it. What I like to do is use this. Now, this is a little piece of it, but this is one of these, okay? Cost me 8 bucks. This is what you use. You screw this onto your wall and you put hangers for shelves, right? It's a shelf hanger rod. What I did was I used the hacksaw and I cut this. Okay, I cut it so it fit whatever the size was I needed it to fit. Okay, and why I use this was the 1 by whatever pine slides right in the middle. Now she's stiff, okay, because pine is a little thicker than poplar, which is a little thicker than oak. She'll fit in there. What you might have to do is just sand this a little bit, okay, and she'll fit perfectly. But for me, I want it snug anyways. And when I bring you in close to see it, you'll notice how nice and tight this is. So I can take out my divider and I can slide it right in without taking a lot of space, and it's nice and secure and easy. And because I'm using these, I can put as many of them wherever I want. Okay, all I did was use some Gorilla Glue in the back and a couple of screws, and I'll show you, I'll bring you in close and show you, and a couple of screws to hold it in. So now you can take your divider, okay, it's snug. Remember, this wood's still wet, and now you can use your divider and you can put it wherever you want. Okay, nice and easy, depending on what your situation is. Mine is here, okay, mine is here because this is where my chlorine jugs are. But if I wanted to move them down, no problem. Now let me bring this in and show it to you close and how it goes. You see how it goes here? A couple of screws, Gorilla Glue, move it wherever you want it. Nice and easy, okay? Wood fits perfectly in there, okay? This is a dry piece of pine. Fits a lot easier. Poplar will fit even better, okay? Simple, can't get any easier. Pop that in. Pop that in. Everything I need, okay? Now don't forget, and when you're at the big box store and you buy this, you're gonna need some screws, okay? You're gonna need like 1/2 inch. We're using 1 inch wood. You're gonna need some 1/2 inch screws to bolt these on. But that's perfect. And one more thing, okay? A lot of people are gonna say to me, hey Fred, what's to keep it from bumping around? Well, the Maverick thought about that. So you have your hooks in the back here. All you need is a bungee cord. Come over here. Bungee cord it on the bottom. And now your bungee cord will hold it in place. See? So it might move a little bit depending on how strong your bungee cord is, but it's not really gonna go anywhere, okay? If you wanna build this, here are the plans. So if you're on an iPhone, just screenshot it, okay? If you're on a television, just put it on pause, bring your camera up, take a picture of it. Then when you go to the big box store, you'll have all the stuff you need. Nice and easy. Okay? Hey, I tell you what, any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them for you the best I can, okay? And if you've never done this kind of stuff, you can do it. One more thing, I added these little recesses here, okay? Just because I like the design, just cut it with a little jigsaw I had. You can do it however you want, okay? But this is just the base of whatever your creativity creates. And there's one more bonus about this. I happen to have a storage facility, okay? So when I get there, there's never a cart. And my storage unit happens to be 200 feet away from the door. So I'm always looking for a cart. Oh, I gotta bring a cart. It's a pain in the bum. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 handles on this. I'm gonna tie some ropes to it. And then when I get to my storage facility, I'm gonna use this to wheel all my stuff down to the storage facility. It'll wheel okay as long as you're on good concrete. Those caster wheels aren't made for dirt or anything that's broken or uneven, okay? All right, well, I hope this helped you out. Any questions, just leave them in the comment. If you can, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Tell me my videos suck, that's all right. And you guys have a great day.